Hey, it's Mrs. Davis from Happy Place to Grow, and it is the month of February. I am here at home, not at school as I normally am when we're having this conversation, but we had some bad weather yesterday in good old NC, and I decided to pack up after the school bell rang. I cleaned up all of the Valentine's activities, got ready for Monday, and then hurried home because we were going to get some freezing rain, and I definitely didn't want to be driving in that. But I did want to share with you some things that are going on with my class and just update you. So I decided to bring the conversation here to my house. So welcome in. Let's get started. So first of all, I'm going to share with you some challenges. So I'm running into a few challenging items. Even though we're in person, all my students are with me. They've all been back in-house since the end of October. We started out in August with that hybrid model with Group A and Group B. And we were able to graduate up to a full house at the end of October. And with a few exceptions and a few little hiccups, we've been able to navigate in-person learning for over 100 days. Yay! I'm so thankful for that. We do, however, face a lot of challenges. The one big challenge I'm facing is with the curriculum, getting through those standards. So starting out with the hybrid model in August, we rolled into the year really slow. So Group A was getting some learning activities, and then Group B at the end of the week was getting the same thing. So that meant me working through those standards really slowly. So that put me behind already. And then there are some challenges getting through the curriculum just because the students missed at the end of their kindergarten year. So bridging that gap with those learning issues that they're having, not having finished out the year, trying to pull them from those kindergarten standards into working through those first grade standards, that takes a little bit of work. So sometimes I'm having to work slowly through my first grade standards, and I'm having to repeat and really help them stair step through those things and really scaffold that learning. So just working through the curriculum, trying to get them ready for second grade, that's been challenging for me. The other challenge that we're all facing is still their ability to follow multi-step directions. At the beginning of the year, they really couldn't do it. They had trouble following one direction: get out your pencil. Now it's February and they're doing pretty well. They're doing better, but we still have to talk it through. And I might have to say something like this: okay, students, listen. And I don't let them start getting their materials until I walk through it. I'll say, get your pencil, get your clipboard, get your spiral, and your crayon box. And then I'll repeat it. And I'll say, okay, now let's do a check. All right, did you get out your pencil? Did you get out? We have to walk it through like that because they still, sometimes after my repeating it several times, don't have all the necessary materials. It's better, but we still have to work through that. And I'm trying to get them to learn to listen and get those materials out quickly because time is precious and every minute that we have in class is valuable. So if we're having to repeat directions, we're losing learning time. So that's why it's so important for them to be able to follow directions the first time given. It's still a work in progress, but it is better. The last challenge I want to share with you is in the area of math. So their mathematical thinking is really a struggle because they, again, missed part of their kindergarten instruction in math. Trying to bridge that gap into those first grade standards has been really challenging. So they missed the end of kindergarten, and then again, how we rolled into first grade very slowly with the curriculum. They struggle in the area of math. So I'm walking through the first grade standards very slowly, repeating a lot of practices with them. So instead of maybe being able to navigate through a standard in 2 or 3 days, it might take us 5 days. So I'm trying to be fair with the curriculum, but also to get through it, because I know when they get to second grade, they have to have navigated through the first grade standards in order to be successful in second grade. So that struggle is definitely real. So building that mathematical thinking is a priority, and we are working through it. And I have tried to step up math with them by doing a morning math activity, and then when we get to math instruction, so they're getting 2 math concepts, 1 a repeated practice, and then something new, a new concept in the afternoons. So yeah, the challenges are definitely still there, but also along with those challenges, we have some successes, we have improvement. So one thing that we have definitely improved in our first grade is staying organized. So just the students being able to put their materials in their desks. So in kindergarten, you know, usually they have a round table, and they're sharing with their table mates the crayons and scissors. You know, in first grade, we have a desk. So usually they have trouble with this anyway, but this year it's been extra challenging, but they're getting there. They're starting to put their crayons back in their crayon box. They're starting to be able to organize their desks, so when they pull out their materials, they've got it going. They've got it handy dandy. Also, definitely an improvement in the area of reading. So my students, I've got some real true readers this year, and they're enjoying reading, and they're being successful in it. We do guided reading every day. Either I do it with them or my TA works with them. And I'm really seeing some reading growth. So that's definitely a joy, a celebration to see those reading improvements, those successes. So yeah, along with those challenges, we have success, and we have, you know, those improvements. Now, because it is the month of February, I definitely wanted to share with you some really fun activities. Now, February is really busy with lots of special days and activities, and you know, us primary teachers, we can work those holidays. We can take Valentine's Day, we can take Groundhog Day, we can take whatever comes at us, and we can make it into learning. We can come up with art activities, math activities, spelling activities, you name it, we can pull it in. February has a lot of fun activities, and so the struggle is real trying to get it all in. So I just pulled out a couple really fun Valentine's activities that I do with my students. I wanted to share those with you. First of all, I wanted to let you know how fun it was yesterday to see my students being able to enjoy Valentine's Day. Now, you would think the simple act of Valentine's cards and giving cards to friends wouldn't be that big of a deal. However, yesterday, the students brought in their Valentine boxes. Now, I had them do their Valentine boxes at home. I'm going to share with you some pictures of the boxes the students made this year. I'm going to insert them into this video. They really did fabulous. I tell them that the only requirements for their box is that at the top they have a big opening, so if a classmate wants to give them a treat bag, they have an opening big enough to receive it, and then their name is on the top. After that, they can decorate their box with Valentine's hearts, flowers, pink, purple, or they can make it any way they want. If they like sports or they like Pokemon, whatever. If they want to turn their box into a dinosaur or a character, they can do that. The sky is the limit. So all of the students worked on their Valentine boxes, their mailboxes. They brought them in, and all of the students were able to go and exchange cards. So I have a couple kids at a time come and place the cards into the boxes or their candy treats. Now, at the end of the day, what I love to do for Valentine's Day as a party, I don't like to do a movie because, you know, Valentine's Day is about caring. It's about friendship and love. So this year, as with my other parties, we got into a big rectangle with our desks so everybody could see each other, and everyone got their boxes. I passed out Valentine's treats, but I just want to say, if we didn't have any treats, the kids would have been so happy. You would not even believe the expressions of joy and happiness when they would pull out their little Valentine's cards and they would read them and they would smile and they would say, "Oh, look, this one says you're so sharp. Thanks, Miss Davis," or "Thanks, Susie." They were just so thrilled. They pulled out every card. They read it. They were saying thank you. The smiles, the joy, the sounds of children laughing, priceless. So you would just never believe that like a $2 or $3 box of Valentine's cards could bring so much happiness. So definitely this was a good moment. Now, they did enjoy the sweet treats, the cupcakes, the cookies, and the candy. But this exchange of cards was the #1 thing they enjoyed about the end of our day. So our Valentine party was about expressing care for each other. Definitely priceless. Now, one thing I like to do is a little art project. Sometimes this is a center activity, but this year I'm rolling out my centers a little bit slower. We are just finishing up our January centers. I've put my Feb centers up, even though it's the middle of February. I still want them to do some fun activities at centers. But this is normally a center activity, but we did it together. So it's really a cute project. I pass out a piece of manila paper and they trace their hands. This is always fun to watch, and sometimes what comes out as a handprint is really interesting. I know when I trace mine, sometimes my fingers appear really bony, and sometimes the students really struggle trying to get, you know, sometimes you'll get really small, tiny hands or skinny fingers, or really one finger is really like chubby, but it's just super cute. So they trace their handprint, and then we color over with peach to kind of peachify that manila paper is really kind of yellowish. And then they cut out their handprint. So that's step 1. Then we trace a heart. I give them a stencil to trace. And this year's group, I said, "Have you ever seen a lace heart?" And they were like, "No." So I introduced to them these beautiful lace hearts. So we layer this up. We've got our blue background heart, and then we glue the lace heart, and then we glue our handprint, and we just put the glue here. And then finally, we trace a smaller heart. We write "I blank you!" exclamation. And then over the years in those cute little Valentine card boxes, you know, sometimes you'll get those little stickers to stick closed the Valentine's cards, and I have saved up those over the years, so I just let them stick the little heart in there. And I also had these jeweled hearts from, I don't know even how long I've had them, but then we just put the little sticky jewel heart in there. And then finally, they're gluing that love message, And then I have them just glue these 2 fingers, and I have them like puff them up. So it's like, you know, that sign language, I love you, that's like 3-dimensional when they glue their little fingers on there. And then I say to them, you can give this Valentine to your mom or your dad or a special friend, your grandparents, you know, whoever you want to give a message of love. I say, don't give it to a pet though. It reminds me of that Jack Perlutsky poem, you know, don't waste your Valentine cards on a pet because it's definitely not worth it. So anyhow, I discouraged them from giving these to their pets, which was a hoot. They laughed about that. So this is definitely an easy, fun project for them to do. And again, they can share it with someone they love. The other activity I was able to get done, you know, on that day, yesterday, when we're exchanging Valentine's cards, you know, they're having to read, they're having to find and match, and it takes a little bit of time. So the day is really spent passing out cards, and we did get a little reading in yesterday, a little math. We did finish up that art project, and then we had our party, but I was able to squeeze in this conversation heart reading activity. So what they do is we talk about those once a year conversation hearts, you know, those candy hearts. And usually I get the candy hearts and give them a bag of candy hearts with the messages. However, last year I was able to find, I don't even know where I found these, but they were foamy messages, hearts with messages. And I was able to bag those up and let the students use those. And they all had the same messages, like be mine, love you, hugs, so that everybody had the same messages that they can look through. You know how if you're getting a bag of candy, little candy hearts, they have just multiple messages. And this is easier done if you're working with young students. You know, it's easier done if they have the same words on the hearts. So this sheet says, well, first of all, before we do this, I read a Scholastic newspaper that I have had for many years, and it just shares with the students how those candy hearts are actually made in a factory. It talks about how the dough's made and how they're printed. So I read that to them first. I passed out all the materials, and then as we went through this, the questions were, which is your favorite message? Which is your least favorite message? So we talked about the word least. What does that mean? You know, least. So we discussed vocabulary, which is the silliest message. And we talked about what, you know, what might constitute a silly message. And then they had to, of their little foamy hearts, they had to find the message that they thought had the most letters and count it. Then they're writing the total number. And then finally, they were able to let their creativity come through. The final activity, there's a little picture frame down here, and they're able to draw and write and color. Now, I told them that they could copy a message from the ones that were on their desks, or they could make up their own heart message. Some of them actually did that, which was really cute. And then they colored it. So that was a quick little fun way to incorporate a little reading, a little counting activity, and still keep it, as I said, you know, as primary teachers, we can work a holiday, we can work in a lot of fun, meaningful activities. So that's what we specialize in. So we got that in, and that was really fun for them to do. Now, since it's Valentine's weekend, I thought I would share with you just a few things that I love. So, of course, it goes without saying, you know, I love my family, I love my friends, I love my church. I love the fact that I am able to teach in person. I'm so thankful and happy to be able to go and meet with my students in class. That's a happy moment for me. But this may sound really silly, But you know what? Love is definitely, for me, a Sunday afternoon going to my favorite restaurant with my family. The name of the restaurant is Dario. It's a local restaurant here in North Carolina. And I love getting a salad with chicken on it. I get the same salad every Sunday. My family thinks I'm cuckoo for not mixing it up. I'm just so happy to eat it every week. And then we go to my favorite ice cream shop called Abbott's. Again, I think this is a local store. I think there are some located in New York. We go to Abbott's. They have the best vanilla custard ice cream. I get it in a cone. Yeah, I get the same one every Sunday. I'm just a creature of habit, but I love being able to enjoy those things. I'm so thankful also, and I'm so glad just for life and health. So on this February 13th, almost Valentine's Day, I just wanted to share with you some things that I love. Now let me close this up just by saying, because happiness is normally associated with love, so I just wanted to close up with happiness is being able to see my students' smiling faces every day, being able to hear laughter, being able to see them be with their friends and enjoy in-person learning with their classmates. And also, happiness is seeing those light bulb moments. You know, when a student really gets what you're trying to teach them. You know, being in person, being in class is definitely full of its challenges in this time. However, seeing young learners be able to just get it in class, seeing those little light bulbs turn on, wow, that's definitely a happy moment for me. All right, well, I guess I'm going to close up this conversation, and I hope that you enjoy your Valentine's Day. I know I will. You know where I'm going. I'm going to my favorite restaurant tomorrow. I'm going to enjoy my favorite ice cream. All right, until our next time together, as always, have a good one.